We have Tanushka Singh. Tanushka ma'am has aced CAT with a percentile of 99.56 and is also an ISB YLP admit. She is currently placed at ZS and will help us in understanding how to crack group discussions and interviews. Over to you, ma'am.
Am I clear? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Okay. Hi guys. So I'll be talking about group discussions and personal interviews. I will be not getting much into what exactly is a group discussion and personal interview. Just I'll talk about things you should do and how to prepare for it. So in our campus, not a lot of companies take group discussions. I think only Airtel, SmartCube, and KPMG took group discussions last year out of the non-tech companies. So group discussions are usually of two types. You'll either have a case-based group discussion or a topic-based group discussion. So case-based group discussion is slightly different from a case interview. In this, you won't be provided with that much data as you would be provided in a case interview. So case-based group discussions are more focused towards finding the solution, finding the qualitative solution rather than the quantitative answer to the problem. And the other type is topic-based group discussions. In this, you will have to discuss and come to a conclusion. So other than this, I don't think there is anything other about GDs that I have to tell, like what is in a GD. I'd like to share some points which I think you should remember while conducting yourself in a GD. So the most important thing is try not to shout in the GD. If other members are shouting, you try to mediate the situation and try to calm down the situation, because if the GD descends into chaos, the moderators will not be able to get anyone's points, and it might happen that none of you get selected for the next round. Even if you had good points and your GD was it turned into a shouting match, none of you would be benefiting from it. So my number one advice would be that if people in a GD are shouting, try to calm them down. If multiple people are speaking at the same time, try to bring an order into it. Try to tell people that you speak first, then you speak, then you speak. That would be my first suggestion. The second would be do not repeat points. If someone has already made a point, don't go ahead and repeat it just for saying something, just for participating in the GD. You will not be benefiting from it because the moderators are only looking for new points and new ideas being contributed in the group discussion. Third would be, as I mentioned, it happens in GDs a lot of times that multiple people start speaking at the same time. So if you and someone else start speaking at the same time, my advice would be that you continue speaking till the other person stops. If the person does not stop, then you consider whether he or she has spoken more or you have spoken more. If they have spoken more, then you should not stop. You should continue speaking till the moderator intervenes or someone else intervenes. If you have spoken more than them, you should let them continue. This shows that you are willing to have a group dialogue rather than just putting your points forward. Secondly, so two people were speaking at the same time. Your point should not be getting across. After it happens that one person has started to speak, and I'm assuming that person is you, you should repeat your entire point again, so that the moderators and the rest of the group members have an idea about what you were speaking about. My fourth suggestion would be avoid using phrases like "I think we should proceed like this" or "My opinion is this." This is a group discussion. Here we don't want to know what what you are contributing as such. You want to come to a group solution. So instead use phrases like "we should also consider this aspect" or "we should." Some people are of the opinion that this is this. So that would be my another thing. So in group discussions, you would either the moderators would either ask you all to give opening statements, or they will just give you some time to think and then tell you to start your GD. So try to be one of the first few people who are speaking, because that way you will be able to get out fresh points. By the time in a GD of 6 people, if you're the fourth or fifth person who speaks, most of the basic ideas would already be exhausted. This would be my suggestions on how to conduct yourself in a GD. Next, I would like to talk a bit specifically about topic-based GDs. So sometimes in topic-based GDs, the topic is not clear. So when you start speaking, or when the first person speaks, the first thing they should do is explain the topic a little bit. Explain the different key points in the topic, and so that the discussion and highlight which sub-points you would be discussing in the GD. This gives the GD a lot of structure and is really appreciated by the moderator. So this would be my suggestions on GDs. As I mentioned, very few companies on our campus conduct GDs. It's more common for MBA interviews to have a GDs, but not so much for campus placements. Next, I'll talk about personal interviews. A lot of people have already discussed their experiences in personal interviews, and so I'll be elaborating a bit more on that. Usually, there are 3-4 types of personal interviews. It could either be a case interview or a guesstimate. In this, as Priyam has covered a lot of points related to case interview and guesstimate, I'll just talk a bit more about it and talk a bit about how you have to conduct yourself in the case interview. So a lot of time what happens is when you get the case or when you get the guesstimate, you are flabbergasted. And as Priya mentioned, do not let your interviewer know that you do not know how to solve this. But take some time, ideate your points, and then begin. And whatever happens, do not let the interviewer feel that you don't know how to do this. My second suggestion would be that you, before jumping into solving the case, you take some time to put down your ideas. This would allow you to have a more structured approach to the case and to the guesstimate. Another thing, when we're solving cases or guesstimates, we tend to get absorbed in the solving part of it and do not interact with the interviewer as much. It is important that while you're solving this, you keep taking tips from the interviewer if you're proceeding in the right direction or if any assumptions that you've made are correct. And please ensure that you're maintaining eye contact with them from time to time. The second type of interview that we have is profile-based or company-based. So before you're going for any interview, you should be well versed with what the company does and who are their main clients, what are their main functioning areas, and next, what is the profile that you're applying for, and how does this contribute to the company's functioning, and what are the basic skills that you would be requiring in that. So as it has been discussed, most companies that come to our campus hire for the role of analyst or associates. So there are certain skill sets that they expect you to have, like certain data analysis skill sets and certain knowledge about certain languages. So what they don't expect you to be a master at these things, but a basic knowledge is expected of you. So you should ensure that you learn the languages which were mentioned. I would suggest that learn data analysis on R or Python, one of these two. Please learn SQL. A lot of companies these days are most roles that are offered involve you working on databases. So having a DBMS knowledge is very important. I'm not saying that you should be a complete master on it. There are 1.5 hour long videos available on YouTube, which would be sufficient for your interview. The third type of personal interview is resume. As Meghna and Priyam both highlighted, that there are certain things which you should be highlighting as key points in your CV, which would be discussed, you should highlight them in a manner that the points that you want to be discussed are more evident to the interviewer. So if you want to, if you wanted to be discussed that you headed a team of 1,500 people you were part of an internship. So change your wording in a manner that that your 1,500, that you leading a team of 1,500 is more evident to the interviewers. And so resume based. In resume based, they would also, some companies also ask why you're applying for this particular profile and why are you shifting from a tech profile to a non-tech profile. So these are also things that you should be prepared for. So basically in interviews, 3 things: prepare for case interviews, prepare about the company and know the languages and everything that is required of the profile, and prepare your CV very well. If you are short on time or if you're not prepared that much, the third point is something that you should be, the resume and HR questions is something that you should definitely be thorough with. It might happen that you do not know about a particular company or you not research about a particular company that much, but your resume is something that you should not fail upon. If they ask you a question on that about an internship or a project, you should be able to answer it very well. Next, I have some general tips for a PI, how you should conduct yourself in a PI. So the first and foremost thing is maintain eye contact with all interviewers. If there are 4 panelists and only one of them is constantly asking you questions, it doesn't mean that you will only look at them while answering or only answer to them. Look at other panelists as well. Then second, it's a very basic, I mean, it's something that's pretty much understood, that you should be speaking in a formal way. You should not use words like or anything which gives off an informal vibe. Third, do not, and this is something which is often a problem with girls. So do not let your hair fly around, or do not fidget with your hair or your glasses or anything. So this does not give off a professional vibe to the interviewers, and they would also tend to get distracted if you're constantly touching your face or constantly touching something on the table. So please ensure that your hair is tied up, your spectacles are firmly on your face. You should not be pushing them up continuously. And yeah, and carry copies of your resume, carry a pen, pencil, and all of those things. So this is what I had to share about GDs and PI. If there are any questions, I'd answer them.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, one of the questions that came up was, in case in GDs you do not have any points which you can't think of at that particular time, what should you do at that particular time?
Okay, so as I mentioned, you should avoid repeating points, but it often happens that if someone has said a point, you have something to add to it. So add on to that. It would be highly recommended that you research a bit about diverse topics before going into a GD, because if you are not contributing anything at all, it will not be of any use. It will not be of any benefit to you. While repeating points should be avoided in a situation where you do not have anything to say. Repeat someone's point and add maybe half a point more to it. Or let's say it's from a topic that you have no idea about. Do not be one of the first few people to speak. See what other people are talking about, and usually you will be able to get an idea about the direction in which the GD is going, and the points which are being mentioned. So you can get a little bit of idea about what to say.
Right, ma'am. Yeah. Is there any difference between the ISB YLP experience and the company profiling interview experience?
Yes, there's a lot of difference. So you are targeting two completely different things. In YLP, ISB admissions in general, the focus is more on why you are applying for MBA and what you have done till now, and what is your story, what is your life story that is leading up to you doing an MBA. And both of these are also very different from MBA interviews of other colleges in India. MBA interviews of other colleges are more academic focused, more general knowledge focused. So they do not ask you about your internships or your co-curriculars or your PORs at all.
Right, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.